Bom dia! Welcome back. It's another beautiful day in paradise, and I'm starting the day with a nice breakfast, a cup of coffee, fresh papaya, fresh pineapple, a fresh roll with some jam. Yum, yum, yum. My brother-in-law Eliamar is coming into Salvador today from the small city that he lives in about 4 hours away. About once a month, his job requires him to come into Salvador using one of the company cars to bring it in for servicing. And so I'm going to see him today, and you'll get to meet him. I'm in a good mood today. It's beautiful outside, sunny. Things are looking up financially. I've got my major debts paid off. And I think I mentioned in the last video, my credit limit on my Brazilian credit card was doubled. Not sure why, but not complaining. And I do have to look for a new apartment, but I'm feeling positive about that. And that's something that my brother-in-law Eliamar is going to help me with, not today. But as I mentioned, he's a candidate for vereador in his city, and the election is on Sunday, so, well, hopefully he wins, but win or lose, shortly after that, he's going to come back into Salvador and help me look for an apartment. So I'm feeling positive and a good mood. You know how in the United States, everything is made to be easy and convenient with no effort involved? Well, here, the lids of jars are often virtually impossible, or at least for me, to open with my bare hands. So I have to boil water and put the lid in the water, boiling water, for maybe 15, 20 seconds. And then when I pull it out, I'm able to open it. Ah, there we go. Now I can eat breakfast. And maybe that's the reason why so many Americans, including myself before I moved back here, are overweight, because everything is made to be effortless. You don't have to expend any energy or calories, so I think that's another advantage to living here in Brazil. And that fresh bread was so good. I'm having a second piece of bread with butter and jam. And as I was walking back into the kitchen, I noticed something kind of wet looking on the floor in the living room, and I was about to blame Kitty for having, I don't know, vomited up a hairball, and I noticed she was trying to bury it. But then I looked closer, and I had spilled some of this raspberry jam on the floor, and she was just trying to clean it up after me. So sorry, Kitty, and thank you for trying to clean up my mess. Jam is not a staple here. It's kind of a luxury. This little jar cost me the equivalent of about $6 at my local market. But I love jam, so it's an indulgence. The last time, it was in April, I went to California, I brought back a big jumbo-sized, Costco-sized jar of Smucker's jam, but I used it all up. So I'm back to using the local jam, and I'll get another big bottle or two when I go back to the U.S. next year. Hey, kitty cat, you're looking very cute right there. Yes, you are. Anyway, before my brother-in-law Eliamar arrives, I want to just mention there are a few words that drive me crazy, or expressions, I should say, as a YouTube vlogger, that I see some of my otherwise favorite YouTube vloggers overusing, that kind of irritates me, and I'll just name three of them. Now, one of them is the most obvious, the expression or the irritating habit, quirk of saying, you know, or you know what I mean. I don't think I even need to say anything more about that. If you know what I mean. Oh my God, strangle whoever says that again. Then there is the word journey. Now, the word journey, there's nothing wrong with it by itself, but it's so overused, especially in YouTube videos. every mundane activity or venture becomes a journey. I want to take you on my journey through learning this new language. I want to take you on the journey of brushing my teeth. Please don't overuse the word journey. And the third one is the word literally. Oh my God. It's become so common, so overused. Everything is preceded by the word literally. An example, I literally walked 2 blocks to get there. Oh, really? I mean, we really needed to know that little piece of information that it literally took you 2 blocks. So if everyone would eliminate those 3 words from the vocabulary, I would be very grateful. And let me know in the comments if there are any overused words or expressions that drive you crazy. So let's wait for Eliamar to get here. I hope to hear his knock on the door very soon. I'm wasting away. Well, you know what they say, you can never be too thin or too rich. I'm getting the thin part down, but rich, I'm not anywhere near that. Well, my brother-in-law Eliamar never showed up, which is fine. He came in today for work, not for pleasure. So I understand that something work-related may have come up, but this is the second time he's done this. Said he was coming over and then never contacted me to let me know that he had to change his plans. So I wind up waiting around at home, waiting for him to show up, and he never shows up and does not call or send a message. So he's getting a tongue lashing next time I talk to him about being considerate. I'll be seeing him next week. I know he's between work and the election, he's really busy. But just a simple phone call would do the trick. Anyway, you might probably recognize where I'm walking because I've filmed here before. It's a neighborhood called Jardim Apipema. It's a very nice neighborhood with this center divide, which is very well planted. I lived on this street, in this neighborhood, I'd say 13, 14, 15 years ago. It's very pleasant. And that's why I like this to be part of my daily walk. Okay, I just sent Eliamar a what's up message telling him off. Boy, what's up? Everybody, and I mean everybody in Brazil uses what's up to communicate and to make calls. Do you have it where you live? Here, you basically could not survive without what's up because, of course, it's totally free. I can call anywhere in Brazil and I can call anywhere in the world. I call California using WhatsApp, and of course there's no long distance charges, no cell phone charges or anything like that. I think WhatsApp is amazing. The outside temperature today could not be more perfect. It's probably in the mid 70s degree Fahrenheit, and there's a very nice, gentle, warm breeze. It's one of those rare days when I feel completely comfortable. I wouldn't mind finding a new apartment on this street. As I mentioned, I've lived on this street before, but I'm sure that this street is far too rich for my blood, rent-wise. When I lived on this street, I was living with my in-laws, and we just happened to live in one of the very few affordable buildings on this street, and the chances of finding an apartment like that, again, are very remote. This is a street of very fancy apartment buildings, and I don't think I could afford it. But hey, guess what I'm doing again? Third time's a charm. First time I crashed, second time I got caught in a rainstorm, and hopefully this time I'll have a smooth ride without any interruptions or accidents. I just happen to be passing one of these, it's called Bikey Itaú, and I can also rent them using Uber, so let's get on board and give it a try. Oh yes, I think this time it's going to work. I'm on the bike now, let's start riding. Yay, I seem to be doing pretty well. The bike seems to be operating pretty easily. The brakes are working. The steering wheel is pretty good. I have a feeling I'm not going to crash. I feel like a kid when I get on one of these bikes. It's a nice feeling. I'm waiting at the crosswalk now. I'm very careful still though. I feel like a beginner, even though I've been riding bikes since I was a kid, but it's been, as I mentioned before, it's been years since I've actually been on a bike, so I'm being extra careful. Bicycling is really good exercise. I mean, I walk a lot, sometimes 2 or 3 hours a day, but bicycling uses a whole new set of muscles, leg muscles, gets me a little more out of breath, so I feel good about this. Not so crazy about filming while I'm pedaling though. Seems like a recipe for a crash. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous to be biking along this path by the ocean. Even though I'm going real slow, it's still very nice. Okay friends, the verdict is in. As you can see, I'm walking the damn bike because I'm going uphill. And I am out of breath. The verdict is in. This is the last time, this is the third time and the last time I'm renting one of these damn bikes. The first time I crashed. The second time I got caught in a rainstorm. This time I didn't really have any problems with the bike, but I'm having a terrible problem finding an empty docking space. The first one I went to, which is just about 3 blocks from my house, all of the docking spaces are full. So I rode about almost a mile down to the next one, where I knew the next one would be, and all of the docking spaces are full. Maybe that has to do with it being a Monday, and not so many people use them. So I rode back to the first docking station. It's still all full. And so now I am heading back to the original place where I rented the bike, and hopefully there's a empty docking space there, but I'm really pissed and irritated. It's not worth it. Also, these bikes are not in the best condition. They're okay. They're not horrendously bad, but I find the steering wheel to be a little loose, not that easy to manage. The braking system is not that great. You know, they're used by a lot of people. They get a lot of use. And you know, I'm 2 weeks short of 70. I cannot afford a major bike crash. I really can't. At my age, it's not worth it, and these bikes are not worth it. I'm just going to stick to my long walks. You know, I love you, Brazil. I love you, Brazilians, but you have terrible reputation for your driving skills and your pedestrian skills. I believe Brazil is #1 in the number of automobile deaths and automobile accidents. Yep. Let me tell you about one experience I had. I believe it was way back in the year 2000 or the year 2001. I believe it was my first year in Brazil, when I lived in Sao Paulo. And my friend Marco and I went out for a drive in his car. He was driving. And we were driving down the road, and this woman stepped out into the street. It was not at a crosswalk, it was on a busy street. And this other driver slammed into her, and this woman went flying into the air. Flying into the air and crashed to the pavement. I was absolutely horrified. I'd never seen anything like that. But Marco, who was in the driver's seat, didn't seem to be fazed at all. And he said, you know, and I knew that he had been in a bad car crash when he was in his late teens, and he was in the back seat. I know that several of the passengers, of whom were his friends, were killed in the crash. And he ended up in the hospital for a while. And it just doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal to Brazilians. Auto accidents, fatal auto accidents. Oh, and then another time here in Salvador, a friend of mine, not a close friend, casual friend, was driving with another friend in a car around 3 or 4 in the morning, right along this oceanfront road, but it was farther down in the northern part of the city, and they were racing. They were racing another car. Stupid. And the sun. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back home. Where was I? So they were racing stupidly. It was about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and they crashed badly. And no one came to help them. No patrol car, no police, no ambulance, no cars passing by called. And they were there for 2 hours. The driver bled to death. And my friend was badly injured, was in the hospital for months, and to this day he cannot walk. So, driving in Brazil, you take your life into your own hands. And going back to my experience today with the bicycle, never again, nunca mais I'm ever going to rent one of those bicycles with Uber, Itaú. I was pedaling for more than an hour, up and down the hill, trying to find a place to dock the bike. And every time I passed one, it was full. And I would go back up the hill, they were full up there. I went to 4 or 5 different docking stations. It was a nightmare. Screw you, Uber bicycles. Of course, I will still use Uber cars, but not the bicycles. And you know, I'm 2 weeks short of 70. My legs are strong. I walk 3 hours a day, but I'm not used to bicycling, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was almost on the verge of like what the hell do I do? Who do I call? I mean, I can't just leave this bicycle unlocked. But finally, there was an empty spot. So I was able to dock it, and then I walked home now, and I'm exhausted. Hey, I got a lot of good exercise, I guess, but that was a little bit too much exercise. Anyway, it was mostly a good day, except for Eliamar not showing up. He's going to get extra work next week when he helps me find an apartment. And the Uber bicycle was also a bit of a disaster. But hey, I'm in beautiful Salvador. It was a beautiful day, so I'm not going to complain anymore. So I'm going to make myself some dinner and drink a lot of water. Thanks for joining me today. Beijos. Ciao.